everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Talk Bar. Today I am going to be interviewing Rishabh Java. So, Rishabh Java is an amazing person. Okay, let me just tell you about him. He is a teenager with a passion for technology and entrepreneurship. He is the co-founder and chief tangler at Tangle, the world's first gamified peer learning platform, and is also the founder and CTO and CEO of ACES, a major upcoming neuroscience startup. He's an avid inventor and a problem solver who loves teaching through workshops and seminars. Everybody, welcome Rishabh. Thank you, Rishabh, for being here with us today.
Really, thank you for the invitation and the lovely introduction as well.
So it's basically called Roti Dosa Chai.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
I lost it.
So Rishabh, can you tell us about yourself, like your grade, your age, and which school do you study in?
So I'm actually a university student. I'm a first year university student. I'm 18. I now for my interests, I like making things. I enjoy being a part of projects that are bigger than myself. I like being a part of team. I like teams. I like working with people from around the world and new ideas and discussing concepts and actually building material things out of them.
Right.
So those are some of my hobbies. But like more creative hobbies, I think I like cooking. I really like spending cooking. Yes,
What all do you
making
cook?
those. I see. So basically, cooking for me is the means to make the things that I like to eat, but my mother won't make for me. So yeah, like for example, I'm not sure if you've heard of momos.
Yeah,
They're
I've
like
heard of.
Nepali
Of course,
national
I've heard
food.
of momos.
Great, yeah. So that's like one of my favorite dishes, but my mother absolutely refuses to make them. Something about taking too much effort. So make things like that, or or sometimes toasters for breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't think a STEM educator would have cooking as a hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. So, from that, I want to ask you, what motivated you to build so many amazing things and become an entrepreneur? So, what made you start? What motivated you?
Okay, so this is kind of a long story, but let me present like kind of a briefer version. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Hindi movie Robot?
Robot, no.
Or Robot 2.0? It's like, okay, the second one had Akshay Kumar in it. So it's a Bollywood movie. The first one had like Rajinikanth in it. When I was 7, my parents had as like a weekend outing taken me to watch the movie, and
Right.
I was just amazed by like the idea of robots and how they presented them in the movie. And
Right.
the movie has like a funny story where this guy builds a robot and the robot later decides to kill him, and very intrigued by that. And I was like, you know what? I need to make my own robot now. So I was 7. I went home. I was fortunate to have a computer at home, and I spent some time just like I ran home. I looked up on the internet how to build a robot. But I
Right.
was 7. I couldn't really execute what I was reading, but I could get knowledge out of it. So I spent the next few months just going through web pages, seeing what kind of what went into building a robot. And my parents saw this interest in, and then they supported me from there. They got me this simple clap switch. It had a small light. When you clap it, turn on. When you clap it, turn off. And then I had this uncle who gifted me like a Lego Mindstorms kit, this robotics kit from Lego. And I spent a couple years playing with that. And then I moved to UAE, and my school had a few more resources like 3D printers and electronic kits, and just worked with the resources I had. Spent a lot of time on the internet, and
Yeah.
right from that movie, I basically developed that passion for building things. And then I had this goal that, before the second part of the movie comes out, I want to make my own humanoid. And
Okay.
that's kind of what I tried to do.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I've seen a little bit of the robot movie and it's pretty sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the second one's absolutely rubbish. Like, there is no real science to it. Like, if I would have seen that when I was 7, I would be running in the opposite direction as to robotics. But the first one was good. So I
Yeah.
would recommend it. If you have time on the weekend, then definitely give it a watch. Find it on the internet and watch it.
So you
Yeah.
watched this movie when you were 7, right?
Yes.
And that's how you started robotics.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just amazing. That's quite a story.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
So I just want to ask you, can you tell me about the voice control prosthetic arm that you have developed? Like, I know that there's this prosthetic arm you have developed. Can you tell me more about it?
Sure, I'll do you one better. I'll show it to you as well. So I have
Wow.
it with me generally on my table. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. Now, conventional prosthetics, they can cost anywhere between like 8,000 to like $100,000. Like, they're
Yeah,
really expensive.
true.
Especially for people that don't have this part of their forearm, and
Yeah,
insurance generally doesn't cover it. So when I found out about this, I was like, you know what, maybe we should build an alternative. And my school had 3D printers. I had a little bit of knowledge in robotics. Put them together, and I built this mind a voice control prosthetic arm, which
right.
cost like $30. And it's completely 3D printed. It goes on to it's customized to go onto the amputee's arm, and you can control it using your phone with voice commands, or you can just put on an EEG headset. And EEG, we'll talk about this a little later, I guess, when we maybe go into another one of our projects. But or you put on this headset which can read your brain waves, and you can use that to control the arm as well.
Right.
So yeah, that's the project.
Okay, so yeah, so you can just tell us about that. What did you just say? EGC?
EEG, EEG.
Yeah, like
So EEG,
you've created lots of
yeah,
like mind controlled toys and video games, right?
yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, is this the next generation in computer games? So can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is the goal, for it to be the next generation, and that's kind of the vision behind it as well.
Right.
So EEG stands for electroencephalography. It's like a 21 letter word, but these are basically surprisingly, this technology has been around since 1931,
Right.
but mostly it was used for medical purposes, where they place electrodes all over your brain, and they pick up your brain waves to see whether your brain, obviously it is, but how your brain is functioning. And they
Right.
pick up different waves, and they study those. So in 2011, people started making commercial versions of this headset. I can
Okay.
again show you one. I have it here with me. So this is like one of the EEG headsets that I work with. Um,
Okay.
and these EEG headsets, instead of those 20 medical electrodes,
Yeah.
24, I think, these just have 3 electrodes. And without being completely non-intrusive, by resting up on your forehead and 2 behind your ear, they pick up EEG impulses from your brain. So these are capable of reading 9 different brain waves, and they use that to calculate how focused and how relaxed you are,
Right.
and how much in a meditative state your brain is. And I just play around with that focus value, where I get it to control toys like drones, remote control cars, guided rail cars, train tracks, whatever, and also computer games with the attention value again. Because I'll share another fact with you. What do you think is the average human attention span? So how long do you think a person can focus before getting distracted?
I don't know. 10 minutes?
Oh, you're in for a surprise. So as per a study conducted by Microsoft, the average human focus is 8 seconds, which is a second, yeah, 8 seconds, which is a second less than that of a goldfish. A
Oh
goldfish has
my
a
goodness.
attention span of 9 seconds, according to them. Yeah. So we're in this, we're suffering this catastrophe where our inability to focus is going to have this snowballing effect on everything else that we do,
Right.
especially our generation, thanks to our devices.
Yeah.
It's going to be in ruins in terms of actually being able to focus on something. So
Yeah.
there was like this dire need for a non-medical tool to help regain that focus and that ability to concentrate. And concentration is actually a skill. So the more
Yeah.
you practice it, the better you get at it. Like how you're really good at reading. Right? So the more you practice reading, the better you get at it, like with anything. And concentration, so if you think of the brain as a muscle, the
Yeah.
more you're going to exercise that muscle by
True.
concentrating on something,
Yeah.
the better you're going to get at concentrating. And my goal was basically to give students and actually people of all ages an incentive to practice that concentration, which
Right.
was in the form of toys and computer games. And then, we add things like multiplayer to it, and we just make it fun and engaging, while indirectly the goal being to help them improve their ability to focus.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like Minecraft education, secretly teaching children while they play.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the goal. So gamifying the learning for them in like a
Yeah.
creative way to help them focus better.
So
Yeah.
is this going to go in like production, or is it all?
Um, yeah, that is the plan. I work with two startups. Right? So I have two startups. One of them is called Tangled. The other one's called Aces.
Right.
And Aces specifically works with mind control technology.
Right.
And it's been like a long journey with that company where we've been developing this for 4 years, and we're
Oh.
finally at a stage where, yeah, for 4 years, maybe a little
Oh.
longer, since I was in ninth grade, I think,
Okay.
with developing multiple iterations of the product, to now where we are at a point where this is the product we want to take to the market. So hopefully by end of the summer, like for me that's end of August, we should
Yeah.
have something that we'll be launching in schools here first, in special education schools here first.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's hopefully it comes soon, and then I can just play. I can play.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So like there's another thing you have created, right? It's called the 3D printed life-size roboceptionist, right? And the rescue
Yeah.
squad. So can you tell me about those?
Yeah.
Like
For
what
sure.
they?
Okay. So there are two different versions of the same thing. So that
Oh,
robot, I think I sent you pictures yesterday.
yeah,
So
yeah.
his name's Ferb. Ferb stands for First Person View Based Rescue Bot.
Okay.
He's basically this. You know how I said before the second part of the movie comes out, I wanted to build my own robot.
Yeah.
So that's the robot I built basically. I
Oh
spent
my
like a
God.
year making it.
At 7 year
Yeah.
old, when you were 7.
I know this was much recent. From 7, I started learning, and everything I learned went into that project. Basically, I built him
Wow.
when I was about 15. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
thanks. Yeah. So that project was built to basically help. So the goal behind the project was to replace people in life-threatening rescue operations.
Right.
By so you'd have this robot, and you can send him in place of um, going yourself where there's like
Yeah.
a danger. And he was
Understood. Like,
built in
yeah.
a way where you could control his arms, you could get him to look around, you could see through his eyes, and
Oh.
and then send him wherever there's danger. His arms were capable of lifting quite a lot of weight as well. Yeah, but that's why it was a rescue bot, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Imagine you're getting lifted by the upstream, and you just see a robot just walking to save you. It was me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
that would be cool, right? I think that would be very cool. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
honestly, if I didn't know, I would honestly think that something's coming to attack me, and I was just
Oh.
swim away.
Yeah, I mean that's like kind of stigma around robots, right?
Yeah.
People just think that robots means evil, they're gonna attack you, but nope, that's
The
not the
robot
case.
uprising.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, your company is your startup probably is going to change that, all of that, right?
Hope so. I hope so. Yeah, and I hope like through one of the goals through that project is kind of break that stigma at least, and
Yeah.
rather get kids excited about robotics than scared of it.
Right.
So
So can you
that
tell
was one
more?
of the goals too.
So can you tell
Yeah.
more about your startup, like the Aces and Tangled?
For sure. Okay. So ACE is basically, like I briefly told you earlier, is a neuroscience startup. It
Yeah.
is basically basically we make these mind control toys and computer games to help students focus better.
Right.
But that so ACEs has been more about the medical side of things, along with just generally making improving focus better for people.
Right.
And what I told you earlier about the fast depleting attention span, that is what we're trying to solve through that project,
Right.
basically. And we're trying to get in a little bit into the corporate sector as well. By so like down the line, we're trying to make these headphones that can read your brainwaves, but they'll be able to tell you when is the best time in the day for you to work, to be to have
Right.
maximum productivity. So
Right.
yeah,
That was ACEs, right?
that's ACEs. Yeah, and then Tangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Tangled is something I started work on last year during the pandemic.
Right.
So after I finished high school, I had a lot of time on my hands thanks to the lockdown. All my summer plans got cancelled, and and all the knowledge that I gained over the years about robotics and the experience. I genuinely liked conducting workshops. I like teaching even college students or other students in other schools, and even for adults. I like conducting workshops. So when I was locked down at home, I was like, why not continue that? And on every
Right.
Saturday, I started this free STEM series where for 2 hours on every Saturday, I would teach students electronics and robotics and programming.
Right.
And I did that for about 9 weeks. And then someone from like the government approached me who had seen recordings of the classes. So I had about 200 students first. And then they said, can you restart the series? And
Right.
they asked me if they could promote it for me. And so I got lucky there. I got like about 1,000 students that I was teaching over the summer then on every
Wow.
Saturday.
Right.
And yeah, and as that grew from 200 to 1,000, I realized that students actually like learning from young instructors.
Yeah.
Like some students, like even like yourself, are doing really well in their field. They have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of experience, and I thought, why not build a platform for them to share that knowledge and experience with
Right.
other students their age in the form of organized classes and courses. And that's what Tangle is. It's a gamified peer learning platform where anyone between the ages of 13 to 23 can conduct courses, while anyone between the ages of 7 to 21 can learn for absolutely free. And
Wow.
these classes are all conducted live, and each class comes with a discussion forum with the goal of making students with similar interests, helping them connect with each other, helping them build friendships and bonds for life, and getting them to compete and create things together.
Wow.
So that is the goal, yeah. And all this being led by peer instructors, by really young instructors. So
That's
that's what Tangle's about.
that's quite amazing. I mean, you're sharing your love of robotics to others, and
Yeah.
I just find it very inspiring, because like
Thanks. Yeah.
how many thousand students? I mean, that's just a lot of students, and I just feel like inspired too. I just feel inspired by you because you are teaching so many and you are cultivating their interest in so many.
Thank you. And honestly, so Tangle now doesn't just teach robotics. Like we invite instructors to teach everything. Like
Wow.
last summer, we had people teaching things like confidence building, public speaking,
Right.
even dance and karate on Tangle. So I mean, if you're up to it, and if you have the time, I would more than welcome you also over the summer to maybe share your passion
Of course,
through
sure.
conducting a course on Tangle. Yeah, and I think it'd be a fun experience for you too. So maybe we can discuss that too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I love to do that.
it's great
So,
to hear. Yeah.
so can you tell us about like some achievement of yours, like some landmarks you have made throughout your throughout robotics and other field, basically?
Okay, that's a tricky question to answer. I mean, so some of the things I would, um, I mean, I have won. I think I've won almost 32 competitions in the past 4 years in robotics. But
Wow.
yeah, and this has been on all different levels, like even inter-school to international competitions. But I
Right.
think more than that, what I've been proud of is like the kind of impact I have been able to have on other students. So
True.
I feel it is so like if I participate in a competition where I'm presenting a project, and and I might not win the competition. It happens. But if even one student who's seen one of my projects and maybe the prosthetic arm or the mind control toys and got excited about it enough to take up STEAM or take up robotics or
Right.
decides to build something because he likes something that I had built, that's more of a win for me. And I've been fortunate enough to see that happen. Basically, I've had younger students come up to me in school, ask me questions about what I've been doing, asking me questions about how they can do it too, how they can get started.
Wow.
And I feel that has been more of a blessing to me than any of the other competitions. Being able to have that that tiniest bit of impact on someone else, who's younger than me.
True. Sharing your knowledge and inspiring others is, yeah, it's the biggest achievement you can dream of.
Yeah, yeah, it
Wow.
is honestly.
Yeah. So, so I just want to ask, what is all
Yeah.
the items behind you? Like, what are those?
Okay, so I basically live and sleep in my workshop.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so my room is like my workshop too. It's a small room. It's 6 feet by 10 feet. It's pretty
Okay.
tiny. So I've got I used to sleep on a hammock, but I've got a bed now.
Okay.
And sorry about the lighting. No, I'm
Yeah.
giving up. Yeah. So I've got a table on this side where my laptop is, and I keep all my parts on the wall there to kind of save space. And I've got a wall here on which I basically write
Oh my
and
goodness.
like, yeah,
That's a big one.
uh, yeah. So I covered the wall in like plastic wrap so I can write on it with a marker.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of use my room as like a place to sleep and as a workshop. So it's kind of that's why all these parts and tools. Yeah,
Yes.
I've got 3D printers in like a room there too. So
Everyone,
everything's just at home.
a glimpse into the life of a robotic expert. They live in tiny
Yeah,
rooms.
yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean it's cozy. It does the job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus I get the privacy of working whenever and however I want.
Yeah. Do you play
Feel
guitar?
that
Because
noisy. Yeah.
I can see a guitar in your background. Do you play guitar?
That is it's a ukulele. So
Oh.
it's like I can show it to you. It's a smaller
Oh,
guitar.
nice.
Yeah, and it is one of the things in my room I'm not very proud of. I really thought I can learn how to play a ukulele. I can learn an instrument, and I got a ukulele, and it's been 8 months and I still don't know how to play it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
advanced in other fields.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like the funny thing is, I literally went on the internet and I looked for the easiest instrument to learn, and I was like, okay, ukulele, this is what I'm gonna learn, and I couldn't do it.
Right.
Just yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
okay.
But
So, okay, I just want to this is okay. So basically, I just want to ask you, can you give a what message would you like to give to our viewers
to your viewers,
to share with our viewers?
okay, sure. I think I'm all about encouraging them to build things. I think whatever field you're in, if whether you're into STEAM, whether you're into music, you're into writing, whatever it is, as important as it is to acquire knowledge, it's just as important to put that knowledge into actually building
Right.
something in the sense, recording a song or recording a cover for a song or writing
Right.
something or like actually 3D printing something and building something. So whatever it is, I probably would just request them or like try to get them motivated enough to actually apply what they're learning and build something out of it.
True.
Because I feel only when you actually applied something is when you put a metric on your knowledge. So just make sure you do that.
Wow.
Yes.
True. Everybody listening, be sure to follow Rishabh's words.
Hmm.
Well, so thank you, Rishabh. That was so interesting. It was very interesting to talk to you and to see how much you have done in such a short time.
Thank you. It was great speaking to you as well. And you're 12 and you're doing amazing as well. I mean, you inspire me too. And it's great being here and speaking to you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. It was. If you like this interview, make sure to like,